Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unlocking the doors of the Gentlemen's Club, and it's a journey that's going to take us from the super polished halls of 19th century London all the way to the mysterious redwood forests of California. Okay, so let's dive right in because we need to get something out of the way immediately. When you hear the phrase Gentlemen's Club, especially today, we got to be really clear about what we mean. In modern American English, that term has kind of been hijacked for something else entirely. And yeah, let's just cut right through that confusion. We are absolutely not talking about the modern euphemism. For this explainer, we're turning back the clock. We're going back to the original meaning, these private, super exclusive social clubs that were basically the cornerstone of life for the male elite. To really get this world, we have to start in 19th century London. I mean, this is the birthplace, the ground zero for the Gentlemen's Club as a formal institution. It was born there, perfected there, and it became this absolutely essential piece of the city's social fabric. And listen, these places were way more than just fancy bars or lounges. You should really think of them as these complete, all-in-one sanctuaries. They were designed to provide everything a man could possibly need, all inside a private world, far away from the public eye. That whole second home idea? They meant it literally. They had everything from a library and a billiard room to formal dining and even guest rooms. A member had it all. In fact, for a lot of young graduates just moving into the city, the club wasn't just like a home, it was their home for years. So, in a nutshell, these clubs offered a complete and total escape. You have to remember, in the 19th century, an elite home wasn't always a private space. It was often a stage for public entertaining and family duties. The club was the retreat from all that pressure. It was an escape from the world of family into this private men-only zone. So what happens when this idea jumps across the Atlantic? Well, the whole concept takes on this uniquely American character, especially out in California with the founding of the Bohemian Club. And believe me, they took the idea of escape to a whole new level. And you know what's funny? It all started pretty humbly, with just a party. In June of 1878, about 100 members of the club gathered out in the woods to say goodbye to a really well-liked founding member, an actor and entomologist named Henry Edwards, who was heading back to the East Coast. And don't go picturing some grand mystical ceremony, at least not at first. The club's own historian described it as hardly more than a nocturnal picnic. It was a rowdy party lit by a few Japanese lanterns, with plenty of blankets and booze to fight off the cold. But that little nighttime picnic, it wasn't a one-off. It became an annual tradition. And over the next few decades, it evolved from just a simple get-together into something, well, something far more theatrical, more elaborate, and totally unique. So you see, that casual party pretty quickly became a structured annual event they called the Hijinks. Then, in 1902, it leveled up again. That's when they put on their first fully scripted play with original music. This was the birth of the Grove Play, which is a completely unique genre of performance art. The Grove Play itself is a fascinating creation. The script is written by a club member, the music is composed by another member, and all the parts are performed by other members. But what really makes it so unique is the theater itself. Just try to imagine that. This isn't a stage that was built in a forest. The stage is the forest. You have these enormous redwood trunks acting as a natural frame, and the entire hillside becomes this huge vertical stage. This allows for all these dramatic entrances and effects that would be impossible anywhere else. And nestled right inside this tradition of theatrical pageantry is the club's most famous and most symbolic ritual, a ceremony they call the cremation of care. The whole point of this ceremony is to provide a massive, dramatic, symbolic release. They personify all the worries of work, money, and everyday life as this demon named Care, and then they theatrically destroy it. The idea is that the members are now totally liberated for their 2-week retreat from the world. So, the ceremony starts with a high priest standing in front of a funeral pyre. He delivers this big speech, an oration listing all the bad things inflicted by the foul and pestilential demon carking Care. An effigy, a little figure representing this demon, is then placed on the pyre. As the speech ends, the pyre is lit, and Care is, as they say, exultingly consigned to the flames. And this moment is just pure catharsis. A band strikes up, the entire forest is lit up with colored fire, and a whole chorus of members in costumes dance wildly around the fire, shouting with joy as they watch their worldly burdens get completely consumed by the flames. So this journey, from a quiet London lounge built to escape family life, to a roaring bonfire built to escape worldly care, it reveals this really powerful desire we have to create separate worlds. And that really leaves us with a final question to chew on. What does this long history tell us about our own needs for ritual and escape?